friends and neighbors, and welcome to episode 28 of Ray and Benny Talk Sports. Producer Grimy has got the front door. And of course, we have the man who wanted to add green to the Bombers' new third jerseys. Benny, how are you doing, brother?
Is there somebody else here? Because I don't want green on those Bomber jerseys at all, man.
What do you think of those things, man?
Yeah, they were pretty cool. I love them. I love the big W in the front.
Yeah.
That was one of the things with jerseys for me. If you didn't have a number on it, it was just too plain in the front and too plain in the back, right? Unless you got with a number or whatever. But I like that W.
I love the all. It's almost like a color rush kind of jersey, and I do love the W. I love how they keep focusing on the W. So coming back to that, so I'm all for it. I haven't bought a jersey, bro, since like football lightning bolt.
Yeah, and that's the ones we bought, the ones with the lightning bolts. That's the same with me. That was the last time I bought a jersey, actually, too.
So I think it's time now to get into a good job, Winnipeg Blue Bombers. I can't wait to get in those new threads. We have a lot to talk about. Before we get into it, don't forget to smash that subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment, tell us what you think. Benny, where can they find us on social media, brother?
You can find us, Ray Benny Sports. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Oh, almost forgot that last one.
TikTok. I still got to master TikTok, bro. I got to master that TikTok.
Yeah, I don't know. We got some videos on there, a bunch of views, but other than that, I don't know much about it.
We'll get better. We'll get better. It's a process. We got a lot to talk about this week. Of course, we have the NBA playoffs. The NHL is going into the playoffs. We have the NFL draft to catch up on. But let's start off with what's hot right now in Winnipeg and Jets Nation. Wow. End of year interviews / pressers. What's going on in Jets Nations, brother? It's crazy. It's crazy.
It is. It's an interesting offseason because we've never seen a lot of almost dirty laundry coming out in the air like it has been over the last couple of weeks, even in press conferences, and then some really eye-opening comments yesterday.
Yeah.
You had a Chipman interview, which had no substance. Chevy came out today and had an interview. So, yeah, players seem frustrated and they want to see changes.
Yeah, and obviously changes have to be made. The most disappointing has to be the Scheifele comments.
Yeah.
A lot of meat first attitude. Bro, I wanted that guy gone since the trade deadline, if not before that, to be honest with you. And I think the real Scheifele is coming to fruition here. Sorry to say. I don't know what your thoughts on these Scheifele comments are about him having to talk to his agent and his family on the prime years of his career. It was ridiculous, to be honest with you.
I didn't like it at all, man. And I was hoping that Scheifele would stick around or they could keep him around. But after these comments, man, it was a lot of I need to know where the team is going, what directions, what changes. Nothing there about him, what I need to change or look at myself and fix for next season. I have to think of my career, what's best for me. It's like, dude, what about the team? Remember this team that you used to play for, that you were almost the heart and soul of, like a fan favorite in Winnipeg. He was the guy that was supposed to be the next captain, right? Even when Wheeler got his seat, people started talking right away about Scheifele getting that one day. And then over the last course of the last couple seasons, end of the playoffs last year to this year, I don't know what's happened to him, man, but he is dropped very hard.
Yeah, you can tell, like, a point of game player. That's great. I sure hope so when you're getting those minutes. But he was gliding up and down that ice, man, without heart. Like, we talked about that. I know I definitely said that about him gliding up and down the ice for months now. So to be honest, this is real no surprise. This is just a confirmation of who he has become. And sure, I guess anyone can change. He might have a change of heart, but he really laid it out there. And very honestly, he did say in a bit half sentence that, there's parts of my game that I can improve on. But that's about it.
That was almost like a throw-in comment to take the shine off of all the other stuff he said for a couple seconds, right?
Yeah.
He signed for 2 more years though, so I don't really totally understand the comments. He was talking like he was a free agent, which he's not.
Yeah.
I guess times have changed in the NHL where guys aren't scared to ask for trades anymore. It's way more frequent in sports that a team asks for a trade, and the teams are almost granting those wishes more often than they're not. Right. So I think if he comes out and asks for a trade, Chevy's probably going to do it. And if Chevy can get a wicked haul for him, go right ahead, man. Use that money, sign PLD, make him the face.
Yeah, I think maybe that's part of the issue too, man.
That obviously, could be it.
Inside workings, but maybe he's a bit jelly. Maybe he's
probably.
That PLD is getting the attention, and people are calling for him to be the next captain, maybe, and him being the heart and soul of the Jets now. So maybe he's a bit jelly.
He could be, and then PLD is going to end up getting paid more than him right now, right? Scheifele's got that.
I had no problem with that. Last week, I said I had no problem with that, bro.
No, but it's going to be quite a bit more because Scheif's stuck at that $6 million a year contract, which he signed years ago. So that could be a combination of things, right? And you're starting to think all those rumors we heard in those locker rooms over the last few seasons, maybe they were true. Maybe there was friction everywhere, and maybe Scheifele, Wheeler are the part of it because
absolutely.
You had Stasny's comments. You had other guys saying people aren't buying in. I mean, Stasny even cut off Wheeler yesterday. Wheeler's answer yesterday to throw in his 2 cents. And I love the comments from Stasny, man. It sounds like he cares.
100%.
And that's what you want to hear from the leaders of the team.
Yeah, that's the kind of player you want back next year.
Yeah.
You want Stasny back next year. Even though I know mid-season I had a bit of an issue with him and his comments off of the ice. But he called the team, and he knows about the room and the importance of the room and having leadership in the room. And we talked about that too earlier on or throughout the year, bro, how there's obviously no leadership and accountability in the room. And this only confirms that.
Yeah, it goes back to trading back for Matt Hendricks there a few seasons ago for the playoff run. Like it was going to turn things around because you got that guy back. Yeah, the leadership is obviously terrible inside that dressing room. And his questions that Chevy would not answer when he was asked today about the culture and what kind of culture do you want. Yeah, and the guy says so many words without actually saying anything of substance. That guy, and he danced around it again today. And I like the questions from the media today. They were actually grilling him, and saying, I mean, for one, the dude just got a 3-year contract extension. For what?
That's 2 years too long, bro.
My God, exactly. Sign him for a year or even do 2, I guess. I don't know, but 3 for a guy that's been here 11 years and they made it to the Western Conference final once.
Yeah.
Won a round another time, and then they got knocked out in the first round, 2 other times? Is that all they made? They didn't even make it that year with the play-in stuff. I don't call that the playoffs. So how do you give him a 3-year deal?
Yeah. Like I always knew that he was, I always had the feeling he was going to come back. He's done enough good work in the organization to have him coming back and let him hire a coach. But we'll see. 3 years. Eesh.
It also questions how much control he has or how much Chipman gets involved in some of these decisions because most of the time you're not giving a GM another chance like this, right? And to hire another coach after 11 years and not a lot of success. So it's interesting to see. Did Paul Maurice have way more authority over the lineups, over the players who they went out and got? We saw all those great guys. Chevy always, he had tendency to praise Heinola. He did it a couple times this season. He just did it in the presser today, but then Maurice never played Heinola really. Yeah. So maybe there was different opinions on stuff like that. Maurice wanted his guys, Chevy wanted his guys, and Maurice was winning out with his lineups. But
yeah, that's with the GM. You can only go so far in regards to setting those lineups. That's a coach's job, right? You never want to overstep your bounds. And it never really helps the situation of, I'm going to fire you if you don't play the players I want to see as a GM. I don't think that's beneficial to team culture either. So, yeah, man, good luck to him. I hope he finds the right guy, and I hope he finds the right mix of players. Because it's not just coaching. Like, this room is a mess. Like, is this start over, bro? This is almost reset button kind of business with that room. That's how bad it is.
Yeah, you got your guys. You got Kyle Connor. You got Nick Ehlers. You got Dubois. Maybe you start to build around those guys instead, and then you start a new culture starting today. And you got Morrissey, Pionk on D, Sandberg coming up. Heinola maybe gets a better chance next year. Perfetti's coming in. He's going to be a regular next year. So maybe you start your new core of guys and you get rid of the other guys that weren't buying in to what the coaches was trying to get across.
Absolutely. Get what best pieces you can for the guys who aren't buying in, which sounds like Scheifele right now, mostly.
Yeah, for sure. And even Chipman's interview. I mean, what was said in there that actually made you go, yeah, I'm looking forward to next season? Nothing.
No.
Nothing dramatic's going to happen. He's disappointed. He has regret. It was tough, underachieved, blah, 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 blah. And then he never said anything else about it or how the season went or anything like that. So, dude, you need a little bit more out of him if you're going to come out and do a press conference, or not a press conference, an interview or whatever.
Yeah, those hockey interviews with GMs, they don't let out much of the bag anyways.
Well, and the owner.
Close to the chest. Yeah. That's the way it is. So they got a lot of changes to make. And I think the culture of that room absolutely has to change, or else they're going to be stuck in the mud with the same results, unfortunately.
That's why I think they got to go somewhere else for a coach. Don't stick in-house. Don't stick to something bring someone brand new, get a new voice altogether.
Yeah.
And start from there and let him bring his assistants. I love how Chevy didn't actually have to fire anyone because all their contracts were expired anyways.
Yeah. Go ahead, look for another job, bro, because you ain't coming back here.
He even said it himself. I didn't have to fire anyone, or I didn't fire anyone.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I like them keeping Wade, though.
Yeah, if he works, if it's working for the goalies love it for sure, man. The goalies are, Comrie had a wicked season this year.
Comrie Brossois was doing great.
Yeah, Hellebuck's had obviously wicked seasons, so
yeah, you got to keep Wade around. And
which is funny because when Pavlik was around, and even early Hellebuck days, you're like, oh my god, get rid of Flaherty. He seems terrible, but either him and Helly got on the same page, or maybe Helly got better coaching somewhere else, and Flaherty's taking credit.
Pavlik was uncoachable. He was already at the point he was in the Atlanta threat. Like, Wade Flaherty was brought in when they came back, right, to Winnipeg. He wasn't there for Atlanta.
Yeah.
So he was Pavlik when he was, and they just had to get rid of that guy.
He was the king of being out of position and trying to make the acrobatic saves, right?
How do you coach that? He's trying to play Kasich without the skill. You can't coach that, man. You had to get rid of it. Thank goodness they did.
But the funny thing is the fans love that more almost than Hellebuck being the big, boring
fans.
Some fans. They love the Pavlik diving across the crease to save the puck, or instead of Hellebuck just gliding across and getting his big body in the way.
Are these the same fans that want Joel Quenneville as a coach in this state?
Oh, yeah, probably those guys.
What is going on with these fools? I don't understand that, bro. I get it. It's a dire situation kind of in Winnipeg. Why are you even saying that name of Joel Quenneville? I don't get that, bro.
No, man. To me, those 3 Stanley Cup windows get tossed, or 3 Stanley Cup championships get tossed out the window for me for him not getting involved in the allegations that were happening in Chicago there at all. And yeah, I don't.
And covering it up.
Why, man? Exactly. Why even bring up his name? Why would you want him? Keep him far away. The funny thing is, or not the funny thing is, the stupid, crazy thing is he's probably going to get hired somewhere.
Absolutely. It's ridiculous that bro, if there was a principal that got fired for sexual assault, would y'all want this guy doing the same job again?
No.
So why is hockey? So why isn't hockey this is allowed?
Because you win those championships, and that's what all that people look at, man.
Give me a break. Isn't that sick, though?
It is big time. It's terrible, man.
A blind eye, especially you fools on Twitter, Jets Nation, turning a blind eye on a guy who covered up sexual assault on one of his own players. Like, y'all should be ashamed. I'm sorry. That's true, though. Y'all should be ashamed of that. It's disgusting, bro.
The thing is, has there even been anything said about Quenneville doing anything to right any wrongs, to not make up, but learn from his mistakes? Has he come out with any remorse for his actions? I mean, I remember the last interviews, he really still didn't feel like he had done much wrong or anything like that. Or, hey, I passed it on. They didn't take care of it, So
how'd Florida do after him?
Yeah, a pretty good season still. So,
President's Trophy.
Yeah.
Give me a break. Y'all should be ashamed. Anyway, let's talk about some other. You know what? Going back to, I'm going back talked about the Jets, but Paul Maurice. And I know I've just beaten this drum to death, but just not having someone like Buff in the dressing room absolutely killed this team. It seemed like Paul Maurice had that good cop to Buff's bad cop. He can talk to the guys at a level, and Buff kept the room straight. But without that, man, chaos. Absolute chaos. I don't know.
It was. And then maybe Pomo let other guys try to take that over, like Wheeler, Scheifele, who knows, his guys. And it didn't work out, right? So Paul Maurice, the leadership problem started with Paul Maurice, and then trickled down to his players, right? So, and maybe he had his favorites, man. Look at Jack Roslovic,
though, because he came in as a young coach and he was a player's coach. That's his style. He's been known to be a player's coach all his career. So that's who they hired. That's who they hired.
Then do it, but no, don't get chummy with only a few players.
He didn't have the right makeup in that room for him. That's for sure. And that's why
Paul Maurice has never had the right makeup any room.
I don't think that's true at all.
Oh God, he's never been a good coach.
You don't have the right makeup, bro.
Hey?
You don't make a Western Conference championship if you don't have the right makeup.
You had the goalie playing lights out quite a bit, and his players were good. Yes,
a good team. But we had the goalie playing lights out.
Other than that, man, he did not do enough in his time here to warrant lasting as long as he did. Not even close.
If they found a good replacement, I'd be game for that too. But I think putting it all on his lap is kind of ridiculous when we saw what this room did when he was gone.
It's not all in his lap, but he is the captain of the ship, so to say. And that ship was sinking with him on it. So, and he jumped off.
Absolutely. So, he knew he didn't have the horses. He knew he didn't have the coaching to get them out of whatever ailed them. And he hadn't been able to since that Western Conference final to get them back to anywhere close to what they were or playing. Yeah.
So to me, he was done. His time was up. It's a same voice for a long time. And unless you're winning championships, it probably does get stale. So to me, that's where it was at. And it was time to go.
Yeah, I think it's different between coaching strategy and your voice not being heard, though. Those are two very different things.
But their defense has always been, and I don't know if that's Maurice or Huddy or what, but their decent defense is that man-to-man stuff. You're chasing your guy. The defense is at the blue line chasing the guy. It seemed like a mess and it didn't seem like it ever got changed.
Yeah, well, they tried to change it at the beginning of the year, and there were those flashes of this team might actually be good, but they can never string it together. They can never play that style consistently, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's peril.
Yeah, it was a rough season. They got it off to a actually their first few games were losses right away to teams they should have beat. They turned it around a bit, but they never really got out of that, bottom gear kind of thing. Anytime they took steps forward, they would take 2 steps back. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the changes. I'm looking forward to the new voice and see what happens this offseason.
Yeah, we'll see what they do with this lineup. That's a big one. Big one. How about the playoffs? Let's move on. There's a whole bunch of playoffs that are starting up, and we're going to bring back the coin. Folks have been asking about the coin, bro.
Yeah, missed him since the NFL season.
They missed
her.
We're ready to go. Ray and Benny versus the coin. We're going to do the first round of the playoffs, and just as a reminder, the coin, heads, home, tails, away. And again, we're going to do the first round of the NHL playoffs. We're going to start with the East and the West, bro.
I guess we should say it's the higher seed is the home team. So the higher seed is the heads as well, just in case. Let's go. Let's start in the East. Let's start on your end.
Pressure. All right, let's start with the first game. We're going to go seed 1 against the wild card 2. That's Florida playing home against Washington. Florida is just too strong. I don't think there's much in-depth analysis there. Heck of a team. They play physical. When they played the Jets and they whooped them, it's just an eye-opener of what a really good NHL team looks like. They're nonstop pressure on you. So I'm going to take Florida to beat Washington in the first round. Coin, what do you say about that one? Who are you taking? Florida home or Capitals away? Tails.
Yeah, it'll be interesting series, and we'll see if Florida can play that playoff hockey. I think Washington's been there for a bit. Florida, yeah, they made it last year, but we'll see if they can play it. They got the offensive team, so that's fantastic. I'd love to see the offensive teams give her in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Instead of getting bogged down by the clutching and holding and all that stuff. So
there's a coin there, brother.
Let's check it out. What's the coin? Coin's going with Florida. It's heads.
Good job, Coin. Way to get on board. Second matchup in the East. We have a 2 seed. This is going to be a good matchup. Toronto Maple Leafs against the third seed Tampa Bay Lightning, two-time defending champions. Although I am rooting for the Toronto Maple Leafs, I still have to go back to what I said early in the season. They are who we think they are, especially against the two-time Stanley Cup champions. So I'm going to take the away team here and attempt to advance. What about the coin there? What do you think about that matchup, bro?
Yeah, it should be a pretty good matchup, but that's one of those ones I'm hoping that the offense is there instead of the D. You know, like the bogged down kind of clutching game, but it should be a good one and a good series between those two.
Sure, should be physical. Should be. Yeah. What do you say, Coin? What does Coin say?
The Coin is agreeing with you again. Coin and going with Tampa Bay.
Wait. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, next matchup, I got Carolina, Boston. This one I think might be the series of the first round. I really like how both of these teams played, and experience that Boston had. I kind of want to take Boston, but I will take the favorite, and I'll go with the Hurricanes. I really like the style of play. They're one of my favorites from the beginning of the year, so I can't let go of Carolina, bro.
That's another team that plays that nice flowing hockey that you want to see in the playoffs. So I'd rather see them knock out Boston and the way Boston plays. But it's all up to the goaltending. If Ranta can hang on for the next couple games, however long Frederick Anderson's out, then they got a chance. But hopefully you can keep him in there.
We'll see. What's Coin have to say about this matchup?
The Coin goes heads.
Coin, why you calling me all the time, bro? Come on.
Did you and the Coin work this out beforehand that you guys are going to pick all the same teams?
Well, we went to the lab and we talked about it a bit. We spent a couple, and this is what happened. Anyways, let's go to the next matchup, the last matchup on the East. We have New York and Pittsburgh, 2 and 3 seed. I'm going to go New York. They're really feeling it right now with the addition of one of my favorites, Andrew Kopp. They're looking really good. And of course, they have Shesterkin. A good goalie like that, a young good goalie like that, not worried about his minutes. I'm going to take the Rangers on this one, bro. How about you?
Yeah, we'll see the pressure, or if Shesterkin can handle the pressure of the playoffs, being a rookie and all that. So that'll be an interesting series. This one's an old school one where I think it'll be a little bit heavier series and all that stuff. But hopefully the Rangers can win 2 series, because then Winnipeg Jets get a first rounder for Andrew Kopp, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Cheer on. New York. Okay. Well, I want to talk about next round. What does the Coin say about this one?
Does the Coin agree with you? The Coin is going heads. So that is the Rangers again.
Coin, we be chilling. Coin and Ray be chilling. Well, let's move on to the Western Conference, bro, and let's see if the Coin agrees with your picks here. What do you got to say about the West? Wow, wow, West.
Wow, wow, West. There's going to be a lot of favorites in this one. We'll go number 1 seed against number 8, and we got Colorado against the Nashville Predators. Saros being hurt and out. I mean, I'm taking Colorado, obviously, right off the bat. And I would have taken Colorado no matter what. But Saros getting hurt, that throws a bigger wrench into Nashville's plans to try and take this series. Colorado's just got too much up front and enough goaltending to get this done. So I'm going Colorado.
Yeah, I agree with you there, man. Early in the year, I picked Lightning and the Winnipeg Jets to make the playoffs. So I'm going to go on that Colorado train, and I'm going to go with them all the way. But anyway, good pick on that. How about what does the Coin say on that one? Jets, not even.
I like that. I just re-listened to that today and listening to you pick the Jets to make the Stanley Cup final.
The lineup was there. The heart was not.
No. The Coin is going for the upset. Tails and going with Nashville.
Coin, are you serious? Wow.
So the Coins are going to agree with you the whole time and disagree with me the whole time? Is that what's going to happen here?
Hey, you shouldn't have cussed out the Coin during the NFL. That's what happened. You pulled the Coin, yeah, you screwed me. So just saying. What do you got for the next one?
Next one is Calgary, Dallas. I'm going with Calgary in that one.
Yeah.
They've had a pretty productive season. They came really out of nowhere to finish where we are. We didn't expect this from them. I had them making the playoffs, but we weren't so sure about Sutter and what kind of impact he was going to have on that team.
I had no idea.
My God, he had a pretty good impact. Markstrom had a pretty wicked season. So we'll see. Can Gaudreau play that playoff hockey and get it done? We know Kachuk is going to be a pain in the in the playoffs. So, but I still think Calgary will knock off Dallas.
I agree. What does the coin say on that one? Calgary's too strong. And I really had no idea Sutter had such a good impact. I thought he was walking, he wouldn't be able to. Well,
it's a pretty good one. Well, the coin's following its path, so it's going tails. So again, to disagree with me again here.
Coin, are you serious? Dallas? All right.
Going for the upsets.
Okay, what's the next matchup you got there?
I am going with in the Edmonton Oilers and LA Kings series. I think it'll be a good one. I'm going to go with the Oilers, though, getting it done against LA. But the big question for me on there is, again, goaltending. Can their D play enough? Play a good defensive game to get them where they need to go. I can see these being sometimes some low-scoring games. Kings are going to probably play that defensive game. You got Danault, who's probably going to be draped all over McDavid. But I don't think it'll be enough. But the Oilers, they need to get other scoring besides McDavid and Draisaitl. Kane's got to keep it going, and they got to get the goaltending. But I'm going to go with the Oilers over the Kings.
Buy me a steak dinner if Kane gets the Conn Smythe.
For sure. You going to buy me one if he doesn't?
No, that's not how it works. You going to give me a steak dinner if Kane wins that Conn Smythe, bro?
Okay, are you going to buy me a smaller meal if he doesn't?
Well, there's no action in that, man. That's a fool's bet, man. There's more action in the Conn Smythe.
Okay. I will buy you a steak dinner if Kane gets the Conn Smythe.
Friends and neighbors, Benny will buy Ray a steak dinner if Evander Kane gets
That's the best bet of my life. It's not happening, even though I don't win anything.
We'll find something to get me on later. We'll have to say about this matchup, brother.
All right, Coin, what do you got? You going against me? The coin is going against me with tails again. Going with the LA Kings.
The coin is throwing caution to the wind.
Wow. This is that's ridiculous. What did I ever do to this coin?
You cursed it out. Who do you got on your final matchup in the West there, bro?
So we got Minnesota. We got St. Louis. This one is in mini to start. But you know what? I'm going with the Blues. I guess that's my one upset. Going with the Blues over the Wild.
Wow, that's shocking. I don't know why it's shocking. Like, the Blues aren't a bad team, but
the question will be St. Louis. They're going with Ville Husso in net for St. Louis, so it'll be interesting to see what he can do. And I like, the only thing that scared me about Mini, well, not the only thing, but Fleury, if he's playing, he gets that horseshoe up as in the playoffs, and he rides it pretty good. So.
Yeah, he's good, man. That's no horseshoe. He's a playoff goalie. He's a
bit of a horseshoe.
He's good. You're just still sour about that Vegas series, eh?
Oh God, yeah.
See,
dude was coming out of nowhere to make saves that no one should be making. So
he's a champion, man. He knows what to do. Who's a coin got in this one?
Should I just write down Mini right away here?
I usually go against this one. I'm taking Mini in this one.
Well, they're going with Mini. It's a heads.
Coin goes all his picks against Benny and agrees with all of Ray's picks. I think it's in the West, to be honest with you. That's some risky picks other than Mini, but wow. Coin just throwing caution to the wow. I like this. This is gonna be exciting. Welcome back, Coin.
We should just say our biggest flops in the preseason predictions here that we did back in episode 2.
We'll do another episode of that. We'll revisit those at the end of the season. It's ridiculous. I don't need to talk about that nonsense.
It wasn't too bad.
Looking for Philadelphia to make the playoffs. Come on, Rudy. Think a little, bro. Let's move on to the.
You should have listened to me on that one.
That's fine. Let's move on to the NBA playoffs. We're into the second round of the NBA playoffs. We got these nonsensical playoff predictions, nothing rooted in truth or fact, all in fun and fiction. We're going to start with the East again.
Yeah, might as well.
Okay.
Keep it going.
Okay, yeah. I did pretty good. On the nonsense, other than Toronto breaking my heart with Philadelphia winning. I got the other 3 with Miami, Milwaukee, and Boston. So in the first semifinal, Miami, Philadelphia, I think I'm going to stay with Miami. I'm going to stay with Will Smith all the way till the end, man. You know what I'm saying?
He's going to slap those 76ers around.
Hard, man. Party in the city where the heat is on. All night on the beach till the break of dawn. Welcome to Miami. Bend any which way. I'm going to take Miami. And I'm having trouble with this second series because, I told you I always take green. But they're both Milwaukee and Boston are green.
They are.
So I just have to go with the logos, man. And in my heart of hearts, I'm pretty sure an angry, crazy deer is going to beat a leprechaun.
Yeah.
Doesn't that make sense? Like,
it does, totally. Quick question, though.
What up, bro?
If there's blue, do you still always take green?
Heck no, man. Are you crazy?
Just making sure.
I bet it got to be blue bombers, though. Any other situation, I don't take that green. Yeah. I'm going to take because they got no magic. They can only grant people a wish if they get caught.
Exactly.
What kind of wish you're going to give a deer? That thing's going to kill you. So I'm going to take Milwaukee to beat Boston. Milwaukee's already up 1-0 with Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Good job on that.
Yeah, it's pretty good, eh? Good games I'll remember. Most I won't. So you got I got Miami and Milwaukee in the East with my nonsensical predictions. What you got going in the West there, brother?
Yeah, I actually did pretty good too. I got 3 out of 4 as well.
Yeah, bro.
I did call the Suns sweeping New Orleans, but they
made it interesting.
Close enough, I guess, right? No.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I went all favorites basically, except for Utah over Dallas, and all the favorites ended up winning anyways, right? So, second round we got the Phoenix Suns and the Dallas Mavericks. You know what? To me, that sun will be glaring down all over those Mavericks, making them dehydrated, tired, and out of energy. So I'm going with the Phoenix Suns.
I'm gonna dry out the horse, eh?
Blaze them.
That's like the power of the universe right there. The sun. It's a powerful thing, the sun.
Yeah. They won't stand a chance, man.
Why is it the Phoenix Suns plural? Is there more than one sun out there?
Ooh, maybe, probably.
Okay, I don't know.
I don't know enough about all this stuff.
Friends and neighbors, please tell us. Is there another sun out there to make it plural, friends and neighbors? Please put that in the comments.
Are we gonna look like idiots here that we should know this?
Not me. I was horrible at science and all that craziness, man. I'm just being honest with people. I don't know if there's some of those moons. Earth's only got one, but so who knows? Again, astrologers, friends and neighbors, help us out. Who do you got?
Exactly. Golden State, Memphis Grizzlies. You know what? I'm going with the Warriors. All their weapons, they'll be all over those poor defenseless Grizzlies. You know what? You got to take the weapons over the unarmed animals. So Golden State for me.
The Warriors. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's going to be a good series, to be honest with you.
Yeah. The first game was a 1-point game, right?
Yeah.
That Golden State won. So
then he just missed that thing and he stood under the net and he said, with the ending different. Yeah. So those are the picks. Keep following our nonsensical NBA playoff picks. Let's talk about this NFL draft that just happened, bro.
You know what? We should tell our listeners actually to give us their nonsensical second round matchups.
Oh, try that out, friends and neighbors. That's a good one, Benny.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't come here with your favorites and analytics. No, I'm not down with that. Nonsense. We want nonsense.
Considering I did pick both favorites, I think.
From nonsense.
From nonsense, indeed.
Move on to the NFL draft. Some crazy trades, some crazy picks, some head scratchers. Brother, you got any winners and losers from the draft? You got some teams that you think are winners and some teams that are losers?
Yeah, the NFL is the league that just keeps on giving, man. It's like nothing dull ever goes on in there.
Don't stop.
The draft just starts off, kind of nice and easy, and then boom, it just opened right up. It already started with the Debo stuff and all that, but a big winner for me is a team that Debo was being rumored to be traded to all draft was the New York Jets. They went and got out the probably the best or one of the best DBs in that draft, one of the top wide receivers, and then getting back into that round and drafting Jermaine Johnson, who was another very good pass rusher. So
he'll be a good edge rusher in a few years.
Yeah. So, they had that guy was mocked between number 5 and number 10 in some mocks. So to get him at 26, I think it was.
And they got a wicked deal.
Hey,
they got a wicked running back in Breece Hall.
That's the other one. Breece Hall in the second round, man. You know what? You gave Wilson some weapons. You got some guys on D. I'm excited to see what Robert Saleh could do with them.
Yeah. The Jets have been so bad for so long. It's just one of those times where I don't ever cheer against because I feel bad. It kind of that's why I was able to cheer for the Bengals, even though they're in the same division. They've just been so bad for so long.
Yeah,
it's good to see them have a good day. I also think Philly, the Eagles, had a great day. Just getting AJ Brown is huge, but how they got back and got Jordan Davis from Georgia. Like Mike Tomlin was going nuts about that guy. This is a guy who's fast and strong and agile, and he's 340 pounds.
That's crazy.
He's gonna back up the NFC East, man. Hey, for them, good for them to pair up AJ Brown with what's his name, Devontae Smith.
Devontae Smith. If Jalen Reagor can get it going at all, pressure's on Jalen Hurts now to show that he can actually play QB and get it to those guys.
Yeah, and then they got Nakobe, I don't know how to say his name properly, also from Georgia, Nakobe Dean, the linebacker who kept slipping. He was supposed to be a first rounder, and he kept slipping, and they got him in the third round. So, and they got him at an 83rd pick. You know who's picking next? The Steelers at 84. And I wanted Dean so badly at linebacker. When they picked him, I was yelling, bro. I was yelling.
Well, speaking of Steelers, another team I think did well was the Baltimore Ravens. They had a pretty good draft and went for best player available, basically. That safety, Kyle Hamilton, big move. You know, obviously, the same with the Steelers and Ravens. They've always had good safeties, man, and you always love watching those guys play. So we'll see if this guy can be that next one in that long list. And then they got rid of Marquise Brown for a first rounder. You know, like you got rid of a disgruntled guy and you got another first rounder in there. So, but yeah, they got a good lineman, one of the top rated linemen in that draft too. So, and they got I like what they did.
They got him just in time once what's his name was suspended.
Yeah. So that'll be good. It would be interesting to see what that you can do.
Any losers?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's the Bears. I didn't like what they did. They got nothing nothing to help Justin Fields.
Horrible.
So I don't know what they were doing there.
No O-line, no receiver help. Well,
no, nothing. So you're just going to end up getting that guy Fields killed or having another miserable season. You know, then the bust label is going to come out. So yeah, I didn't like what they did at all. I'm also going to say the Titans. I don't know. I didn't like you're trading away your best wide receiver. I know they drafted Treylon Burks, who's supposed to fill in for AJ Brown, but you basically have no receivers there. You have a shaky quarterback in Tannehill. Unless you're going to run Derrick Henry 500 times, I don't know what they're going to do. They got to hope Burks, you know, gets off running and it has a wicked first season.
Yeah. The losers for me are the Pats because I don't know what the heck they're doing. Like every pick, reach.
Yeah.
Like the first pick, his last name is Strange, and it was Strange. That guy was not a top end. Well, he's a good interior lineman draft. He might progress into something, but I didn't.
I like that Rams video of Les Snead and Sean McVay.
Oh, laughing.
Yeah.
104 or something like that.
They were hoping to get him in round 4 or whatever it was.
Crazy. Yeah. Oh, well. And you know, it's not that it was a bad draft for the Dolphins. It's just they had no capital. They had no draft capital at all. They gave it up for Tyreek Hill and whatnot earlier on.
Yeah.
But the players that they picked, even they're just reaching as well. I guess you might as well if you have crappy picks, right? But
that's funny because the ammo that they had going into this, they would have had 2 firsts, right? And then they traded one of them last year to the Eagles. They traded this one for Tyreek Hill. So yeah, not much there in terms of depth or anything.
They could have drafted Garrett Wilson or one of those speedy wide receivers instead of Tyreek Hill and kept their draft capital, but whatever.
Exactly. And then you have that tons of money. And then to me, that's where the Packers kind of dropped the ball, I think, when not maybe trading up for one of those receivers or going after one of these receivers that you know for sure is going to, well, not for sure. I mean, you never know anything, but that could come in and have a better season right now than a second round or third round guy, right? Just right off the hop. So I was kind of surprised they didn't do anything like that.
Yeah, this trading first, second rounders for these high paid receivers, that's going to stop very soon. That's going to stop very soon. When you have guys like Justin Jefferson and what's his name, CeeDee Lamb and the dude in Denver, it's when you can just pick him out of the draft. Why are you going to pay $20-25 million for him?
and that's surprising that so many went this year like that, right? And then you throw in AJ Brown and Marquise Brown as well.
Who's
You
not?
know that, and Marquise Brown has, he's not even at this contract spot or stage yet, I don't think. But I mean, are you going to pay him $20 million just because he's the next receiver in line? He's not consistent enough. He's had good seasons, but a lot of drops and a lot of missed plays and stuff. So I'm not ready to pay that guy $20 million.
No, he doesn't deserve that.
No. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens and what kind of trend. And especially, last year we had Waddle, Jamar Chase. I can't think of any other wide receivers off the top of my head that came in and they played fine, excellent their first season, right? Yeah. So now it's showing more and more that these receivers can come in and get off the hop right away. So if these guys drafted this year can do it, then yeah, people aren't going to be paying those $20 million, man.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see all these teams sign their draft picks now.
Like even looking now, no running back was picked in the first round of the draft, right? Oh yeah, Brees Hall was the first, and that was early second, but
that's rarely going to happen anymore.
Yeah, it's crazy that it is. So
yeah. Always love that NFL draft. Always love that NFL draft. A couple of quick hits before we go. Austin Matthews, 60 goals, bro. Thoughts?
Good for him. Really happy for him. He's rounding out into a fine NHL player.
24 years old. He's the new face of the NHL. He's been on the game twice. Don't be sour.
Yeah, bro. He's good. He's good. He had a wicked season. 60 goals is a good feat. I mean, NHL scoring was up this year all around. So, but yeah, good for him. We'll see if he can get it done in the playoffs. That'll be the biggest question for me. If you can get Toronto past that first round, man, then you're taking the next step.
Yeah. And I'd shout out to Johnny Gaudreau. They talk about heart winners and stuff, and people aren't considering him enough, especially with the stat of being like having the most 5-on-5 points. That's huge.
Mm-hmm. That's a wicked season for him, man. Good bounce back season for him too.
Absolutely. And of course, Guy Lafleur just found out he'll be lying in state. What and kind of like obviously they didn't plan it, but what a way to finish off the season by beating Florida 10-2.
That's crazy, eh?
Yeah.
Imagine that, scoring those 10 goals in honor of Guy Lafleur, basically. Like it's I got nothing else even to say on that.
No, the hockey cards are loud in Montreal. Especially when the score 10 in honor of Guy Lafleur. And don't forget to check out our Mount Rushmore of number 10s NHL all time on Raven Talk Sports YouTube channel. Oh my goodness. And one more little note. What about this Trevor Bauer suspension at MLB? This guy's crazy, bro.
That is crazy, man. 2 years.
Why not forever?
Well, that's the thing. The only crappy thing about the whole situation is I don't understand how or why, but he's not getting charged and no charges are being brought. So
the court dismissed a lot of these women, man. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's crazy that no charges would be laid if there's texts, if there is messages and all this stuff. I don't know how that gets avoided, but
sorry, friends and neighbors, for you on the microphone, but that really pisses me off. And like 2-year suspension, wow, that's long. You know what? In a lot of industries, including the one I work in, you do something like that, you ain't coming back.
Yeah. I mean, that's true. And at the end of the day, 2 years is probably not enough at all on this thing. So hopefully, by that time he's a forgotten player and they're not bringing him back. He'll be 33. So hopefully they just let him freaking swing out there and not bring him back at all. But we know sports.
Yeah. Quick hits. Again, last one, CFL rule changes. Which one's going to make the biggest impact in your mind?
Probably have to be the hash marks, man. I mean, give you a little bit more room on the outsides and everything like that. So to me, that's going to open things up a bit more.
Yeah, I don't know why that wasn't thought of before. Like, there are a few teams in history, like when they had the 6-pack back with Doug Flutie, even the Bombers with Kahari Jones when they had the trips receivers with Arlen Bruce, Bobby Gordon, and Stiegel playing that wide side. But usually, you don't have enough. You don't have a strong arm quarterback to play that wide side of the field, so that takes out the defender and the receiver. So you're not really playing with 12 men anyways, and that's part of the game. Yeah. And the big field is part of the game. So that's a big one, and it also lines up field goals kickers closer to the goalposts. So maybe
So Mortada is going to be better this year.
I'm not putting any money on that.
I like the rule changes because they didn't mess totally with the game, right? They weren't about 4 downs. They weren't about, the clock or anything like that, or make the field skinnier or longer, whatever. There were rules that made sense, rule changes that made sense. and didn't mess with the integrity of the CFL game.
Yeah, bro, I would love to have Chris Streveler back for the 2 quarterbacks on the
field. That would be pretty cool, actually, to see that out there.
That'd be so awesome. Quick question to you, because the CFL draft is coming up. In your opinion, who is the greatest Canadian to play for the Bombers?
Ooh, wow, right on the spot like that?
Yeah, bro, hurry up now.
I don't know. There's just way too many. Let's go because we had him on an interview. Let's go with Chris Walby.
That's the only answer I have. Bro. It's Chris Walby. It has to be Bluto, greatest Canadian in Bombers history. Benny, let's go to one of my favorite segments. I can't even speak anymore. Benny's Brickhead of the Week. Who do you got, brother?
Man, this one's a reluctant one, but it's got to be given out. I'm going to our boy Mark Scheifele. For his eyes, me's comments and not, not addressing the team more or being more of a team player. So Mark Scheifele, you're my Brickhead of the Week.
I've said my piece on Scheifele. They're going to give me 15 yards for piling on. Is that even a penalty anymore? Is that a penalty? I've not seen that penalty forever.
Well, I guess if you jump into a pile trying to dig the ball out after the fact, if you weren't in there in the first place, that's a penalty, right?
I've never heard piling on anymore.
I don't know if it's called piling on or not, but
just objectionable conduct right away.
Maybe, yeah.
Let's move on to Eat That Hot Dog. I have a great hot dog to give out, and this is going out to the folks at Sport Manitoba, Athletics Manitoba, the Manitoba Aboriginal Sport and Recreation Council, and as well as the Winnipeg Gold Eyes, amongst other sports bodies in Manitoba who signed the Anti-Racism in Sport Accord. And it's a quote from Daria Yokera Palmer, who's a consultant. These are commitments that will help assess, acknowledge, and intentionally address racism within sports organizations. So they want to make sport more inclusive to everyone in Manitoba, and they've actually committed to doing that in policy. So I'm going to bring out the brats. The first time I haven't brought out any brats this year, so they're going to get the brats hot dogs way. Who do you got, bro?
Right on.
Brats.
Eat That Hot Dog goes out to the St. James Canucks for winning the MMJHL Championship 4-1 series win over the Pembina Valley Twisters. So I think it's been about, over 20 years or almost 30 years that they hadn't won a championship. So big for this St. James area to bring home a championship.
Sunny St. James.
Sunny.
Benny, is there anything you have to say to the people?
You know what? Good luck to the Manitoba Moose in the AHL playoffs, and good luck to the Winnipeg Ice in the second round of their playoffs. And have a good week.
And in the famous words of Randy Moss, when you're rich, you don't write checks, straight cash, homie. Be kind, be safe, help each other out. Hey, friends and neighbors, don't forget to check us out online on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at Ray Benny Sports. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. Leave a like, leave a comment, tell us what you think.